Hey, I wanted to send you this little video message because the other day when we were talking, you asked me what book would it be good to have somebody to read, and I suggested the book of Philippians. I personally, it's my favorite book of the Bible, but I wanted to give you some reasons why. These reasons, I have 7 of them, but I'm not going to put them all in this message. I'm going to probably do just the first 3 of them. But I wanted just to give you a context about why I find this book so compelling and why I think it would be helpful to you in your growth. The first reason I love the book of Philippians is because it is a personal book. Unlike other books that the Apostle Paul wrote, and he wrote almost half of the New Testament, at least a third of it, this one deals more with life issues. This deals with salt of the earth, where we are. It feels as if he would be having a conversation with someone in their living room or in the car or over coffee. When I read that book, I feel this intimacy that he had with these particular people who were reading it and whom he had written it for. So that's the first reason. It's a personal book, and I like the intimacy feel of it. It brings a warmth to my soul as I read it. The second reason is it's a practical book. Practical in this sense. Again, other books that Paul has written, he deals with some deep theological issues, some large issues, and sometimes they can be hard to understand as you are beginning in your faith, and as you grow, you seek to understand and you ask God for wisdom. But in this book, it's intensely practical. For example, he gives me, when I read it, I find that I can how to overcome things like my fears and my anxieties and my ego and my imposter syndrome and my fears over money and provision. They're all there. And I find that practicality so helpful for me. The third reason, number 3, that I love this book is because it is a positive book. 17 times in the book of Philippians, the word joy or another form of that word like rejoice or rejoicing are used in 104 verses. 17 times. In other words, Paul is helping these people understand that no matter what they're going through, and as you go through this book, you'll discover that they were going through tremendous trial, tremendous suffering, tremendous persecution, that no matter what they were going through, he who was going through the same thing when he wrote the book, he wanted them to know that no matter what the circumstances of our life are, or what the circumstances of their life are, they had everything that they needed for joy. And when I read this book, positivity, it's a little bit of, I don't like necessarily that word. Joy, I love, and always in search of that joy. The fourth reason that I like the book of Philippians is because it's passionate. Paul has a passion that runs through this book, and you cannot help but sense that passion when you read it. It's like an aroma, it's like an ambiance or a flavor as you read this book. You see, passion is that one thing. Most people, they're trying to find life and they're trying to find their passion, but they're already living from a passion, because passion is what gives us energy. And as we read the book of Philippians, we'll discover that Paul has an energy that is driving him. He mentions it all throughout the book, but in one specific place in the book, he clearly states it. And I love that. It's a great gauge to guard measure my life by. The fifth reason that I like the book is because it's proactive. This book is about action. This book is about intention. This book is not about passivity or sitting back and letting life come to you. It's about heading to life, heading to relationships, heading to purpose and intention. It's about focus and an alignment with what is truly valuable to you. And as you read it, I believe you would sense it. That's what I get from it, and I love it. The sixth reason, number 6, that I love this book is because it's about perspective. What fascinates me about this book is the fact that Paul writes it from a prison cell, chained to a guard. He has already in his life had the highest of highs, and he's had the lowest of lows. And yet as he writes this letter to these believers of the way, these followers of Jesus in the city of Philippi, in the province of Macedonia, he has the same perspective. In fact, through all of his writings, he has the same perspective. It's like a red thread that runs through everything, and he's written that we have revelation and exposure to. I love that perspective. You see, life is not necessarily what happens to us. It's how we choose to interpret and what is happening to us. And Paul gives us the framework for a healthy, proper eternal perspective. The seventh reason is it's prayerful. You can't read this book and not sense that Paul was in constant conversation with God. And as a result, these readers were going to be in constant conversation with God. And as an implication, we should be too. We must have constant conversations about our fears, conversations with God about our ego, conversations with God about our complaining, conversations with God about our purpose, conversations with God about our imposter syndrome, conversations with God about his provision, conversations with God about our mindset, conversations with God about the strength that we need to make it through whatever we are facing. Sometimes prayer is talking to our God about our problems, about our life. But often, as we'll see in this book, and as you read it, I think you'll discover, it is often that we need to be talking to our problems and to our life about our God. And I think that is the flavor, this conversation constant that Paul has with God. Those are the 7 reasons. It is personal, it is practical, it is positive, it is passionate, it is proactive, it is got perspective, and it's prayerful. As you read this book, I anticipate hearing how great it has been in your journey, your own faith journey. And I hope that this has been an encouragement to you. It strengthens your faith. And I look forward to hearing what this small book has done in your life. Blessings.